In 1965, a racing legend was born, a Hemi-powered, wheel-standing beast of a truck known as the Little Red Wagon. Created from the Dodge A100 truck, this monster of a race truck was owned and driven by Bill Maverick Golden, a man even more famous than the truck he drove. Bill Maverick famously won over 1,800 trophies, thousands of races, and set an astonishing number of records during his racing career. It wasn't until Frank Wiley, which was Chrysler's chief of public relations at that time, took Maverick to the shop of Dick Branster that they had a match made in heaven. Chrysler's A100, which is a cab-over-engine style of truck, hadn't been selling as well as their D100, which is a cab-behind-engine style. In the 60s, the best promotion a car could get was to win races or do something everyone would be talking about. So Chrysler decided to do both and had Branster's shop engineer a custom A100 with a bigger engine in the bed of the truck. Chrysler also changed the engine of the custom truck to the enormous 426 Hemi and removed anything in the car that would add weight. That included the front bumper, the heater, the spare tire, the dash panel, and even the body sealer were all removed, which is just crazy. They even switched out the stock doors for fiberglass. What they ended up with was a back-heavy truck that, as soon as the supercharged engine was given some gas, would have a tendency to wheel stand and tear down the track like a bat out of hell. Sounds pretty cool to me. Bill Golden was in love. He went from winning races to winning hearts and minds in what has become one of the most famous Dodge trucks ever built. So famous, in fact, that in 2009, Sotheby's auctioned off one of the last surviving Bill Golden Little Red Wagons for $550,000.
That vehicle is going to be the end of your father. So,
okay.
Yeah, you might want to take out a real...
yourself in it, or?
Well, it's going to be 1,000 horsepower built by Ray Barton. It's got a blower shop 871 blower on it. It's got dual Demon 850 carburetors that are designed to go on a blower. Custom built Zoomy headers.
But it's only on 2 wheels. You'll be fine.
Yeah, as long as I don't have to steer it, should be fine.
Should be fine. It's straight line. That's all you need.
The Little Dead Wagon is really going to be the Little Dead Wagon. This is a really solid, super solid truck, as in zero rust. Here at the front, you see some welding that we've done. This thing had hit something, and so all of this area that you see between these weld points was caved in. What we did was cut that piece out so we could put it on an actual, like a bench, and start metal finishing it from the inside out. And so what you see right here is where we were able to knock all the dents out of it and get the shape that we needed. Then all we have to do is weld it back on, grind our welds, do any mudding that we have to do. And the main reason for that is this is a 1964 model truck. Everything is real steel back then. It's not the stuff that we deal with today that's a really, really thin gauge, high strength, low alloy steels. So trying to get in here where it's a double panel is impossible to get in there and knock that dent out. It's much easier just to cut it out, lay it upside down, hammer it out, and weld it back on. That's what we did where you see this mark in the valance here. Everything that you see right through here, all the way around the corner, we had this lower valance piece off of there, and we were able to straighten it out really nicely on an actual bench, then put it back up in there and metal finish off all the welds. So that's why that looks so much better. Before, it was caved all the way in back to here. Now our nose, it was caved in too, but we have full access through here to it. I was able to put a porta-power in between this wheelhouse and that wheelhouse with a bar and push this area out while I was stress relieving it. That's why you end up seeing so many of the little dent marks. Now originally this had a 15-inch tire that was like a little cookie cutter, okay? You can see that we now have these Hoosiers in here. They have almost 20 inches across the face of them. They're 33 inches tall. This is very similar to what they were running on some of the wheel standers and dragsters, top fuel back in the day. You see that most of the bed is cut out of it. You see the engines out of it. If you look straight down here, you can see that all that's out of the way. Starting at the front cross member that you see the little spider web gussets, that area right there is what's going to hold the second generation 426 Hemi. I bought a Mopar Performance 426 Hemi for it. I sent it back to Ray Barton. Ray Barton's building the hell out of it. He's going to put a blower shop 871 blower on it. We've got some Holley carburetors going on it. So we think it's going to put out about 1,000 horsepower. So all of that heavy 2x4 and 2x3 and 2x2 box tubing that you see starting all the way back here going forward is the reinforcements that we need for this truck to be able to stand up to that much brute horsepower that's coming out of it. Even though it probably won't get much of a bite, meaning it won't hook up and really do a lot of damage, what little bit it could do, what kind of flexing it could do when it does get a bite, could twist the little truck up. So that's what all that reinforcement's for. We went out of our way to do the little cool spider web gussets everywhere that we could. Mosier connected with us and put a 8 3/4 style housing that they narrowed to my specifications. Over here you got the wheel tubs. I just got one of these in. We built a 1/4 by 1 inch by 1 inch square framing for this to set down in. It's just sitting there right now. We have to do some welding to get that all in place. We have to level it a little bit. But this is what both sides will look like as soon as we're done. So as soon as we have these in, we'll finish off all of our metal work, and then I can send this out, have it dipped, and when it comes back, we can start doing body and paint on it. As soon as we can get the body and paint work done, hopefully Barton's done with the Hemi, the rest of the guys are done with the other things. We're building a 727 torque flight for it. As soon as all that's done, we'll build a marry it together, because our goal is to be able to get to SEMA 2018. This is our road to SEMA car that we're doing this year. So one of two, actually. We got another one we got going, but we can't talk about that yet. So that's kind of the meat and potatoes of where our 1964 Dodge A100 little dead wagon is at. And stay tuned, we'll keep you guys caught up down the road.